Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Leap podcast. I'm Evan, here with Aaron, and we're so glad you're joining us today for another exciting episode.
Hi, everyone. Let me ask you something. Have you ever found yourself saying, "I'll do it later," only to realize days or even weeks have passed, and that thing you needed to do is still sitting there? Whether it's writing an essay, finishing a project, or even just tidying your room, procrastination has a way of creeping into all of our lives.
Oh, definitely. And then you're stuck in that frustrating cycle where you know you should start, but instead, you end up scrolling, snacking, or even cleaning things you never planned to clean, just to avoid the real task.
Exactly. It's like procrastination sneaks in when we're trying to avoid something that feels overwhelming or even boring. And that's why we're so excited about today's topic. We're talking about how to stop procrastination, why we do it, and how to break the habit, step by step.
And to help us dive into this topic, we're introducing someone very special, Lucy. Lucy is one of those people who can take complicated ideas and explain them in a way that's simple, fun, and totally relatable. She has this incredible way of making you feel like you're just having a casual chat with a friend.
Exactly. Lucy has helped so many people understand the psychology behind procrastination and how to overcome it. Whether you're someone who struggles with small delays or big deadlines, Lucy's insights are going to be a game changer for you.
And, as always, we'll make sure you learn some new English words and phrases along the way. So, by the end of this episode, not only will you feel more motivated to get started on your goals, but you'll also have improved your English skills.
We can't wait to dive in. Let's bring Lucy on and hear her tips for breaking free from procrastination and getting things done. One small step at a time.
Imagine a small garden, tucked away behind an old wooden fence. It's full of potential. The soil is rich, the sunlight is golden, and there's even a gentle stream running nearby. But the garden has been left untouched. Days, weeks, and even months pass, and no one plants a single seed. Slowly, weeds take over, their roots spreading deep into the soil, choking out the possibility of flowers or vegetables. The gardener knows the garden could be beautiful, but every time they pass by, they think, "Not today. Tomorrow I'll start. Tomorrow I'll clear the weeds and plant something wonderful." But tomorrow comes and goes, and the garden stays the same. One day the gardener finally steps into the garden. They pick up a spade and pull out a single weed. Then they plant a single seed. It doesn't seem like much, but it's a start. And the next day, they pull a few more weeds and plant a few more seeds. Slowly, the garden begins to transform. It isn't perfect right away. It doesn't have to be. But it's alive again, growing with every small step the gardener takes. Our tasks, goals, and dreams are like that garden. They hold so much potential, but when we procrastinate, they become overgrown with weeds, worries, doubts, and excuses. We tell ourselves, "I'll start tomorrow," but often, tomorrow never comes. The longer we wait, the harder it feels to begin. The weeds grow thicker, and the task feels more overwhelming. But what if we took the same approach as the gardener? What if, instead of worrying about the entire garden, we focused on pulling just one weed or planting just one seed? Procrastination thrives when we focus on the whole picture and feel overwhelmed. But progress begins when we take small, manageable steps, one at a time. There's a saying, "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." It's a simple truth, yet so powerful. When we're stuck in procrastination, we often feel paralyzed by how far we have to go. But this phrase reminds us that no matter how big the journey, it always starts with one step. Think about someone standing at the base of a mountain, looking up at the peak. If they focus on the entire climb, they might feel discouraged. How will I ever make it to the top? They wonder. But if they take one step forward and then another, suddenly the peak doesn't seem so far away. The same applies to us. Whether it's starting a project, cleaning a messy room, or chasing a dream, the first step is always the hardest. But once we take it, momentum builds, and the journey becomes a little easier. Procrastination isn't about laziness. It's about avoidance. Sometimes we avoid tasks because they feel overwhelming, like the gardener facing a garden full of weeds. Other times, we avoid them because we're afraid of failing, of not being good enough, or of not knowing where to begin. Take Sarah, for example. She wanted to start a blog. She had great ideas, a passion for writing, and even a domain name picked out. But every time she sat down to write, she thought, what if no one reads it? What if it's not good enough? Instead of starting, she scrolled through social media or reorganized her desk. Deep down, Sarah's procrastination wasn't about being lazy. It was about fear. Understanding this is key. When we procrastinate, we're not avoiding the task itself. We're avoiding the emotions it brings up. The fear of failure, the discomfort of hard work, or even the boredom of repetitive tasks. But here's the thing. Avoiding the task doesn't make those emotions go away. It just postpones them. One of the biggest reasons people procrastinate is perfectionism. We think, if I can't do this perfectly, why bother starting at all? But perfection is an illusion. No masterpiece begins as perfect. Every great painting starts as a rough sketch. Every novel starts as a messy first draft. And every dream starts as an uncertain step forward. Think of Thomas Edison, who famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Imagine if he had waited for the perfect invention to come to him instead of experimenting, failing, and trying again. The light bulb wouldn't exist. The truth is, progress matters more than perfection. The first draft, the first attempt, the first step, they don't have to be perfect. They just have to happen. And once you start, you'll find that each step gets easier. Let's go back to the garden for a moment. Imagine standing in front of it, tools in hand, but feeling frozen by the size of the task. You think, there's so much to do. Where do I even start? This is exactly how procrastination works. It magnifies the task, making it seem bigger and scarier than it really is. But what if, instead of thinking about the whole garden, you focused on just one corner? You tell yourself, I'll spend 10 minutes pulling weeds. That's it. Suddenly, the task feels lighter. And once you've started, you might find yourself thinking, I can do a little more. That's the magic of starting small. Fear and overwhelm shrink when we break tasks into tiny pieces. You don't have to write the whole essay, just write one sentence. You don't have to clean the entire house, just start with one shelf. The smaller the step, the easier it is to take. Procrastination isn't new. Even the ancient Greeks struggled with it. They had a word for it, akrasia, which means knowing you should do something but doing something else instead. It's comforting to know that humans have been battling procrastination for centuries. It's part of being human. In today's world, procrastination has taken on new forms. Technology gives us endless distractions, social media, streaming platforms, and constant notifications. It's easier than ever to put off important tasks in favor of quick, easy pleasures. But just as technology can be a distraction, it can also be a tool. Setting timers, using focus apps, or creating digital reminders can help us stay on track. Even the most successful people procrastinate. Take J.K. Rowling, for instance. She admitted to procrastinating while writing Harry Potter, often doubting her abilities and delaying chapters. But instead of giving up, she pushed through those moments of doubt, one chapter at a time. Her story reminds us that procrastination doesn't define us. It's what we do next that matters. Let's return to our gardener. Remember how they finally stepped into the garden and pulled just one weed? That single action was enough to break the cycle of procrastination. It didn't fix the whole garden right away, but it started the process. The same is true for us. Whether it's writing an essay, making a decision, or starting a fitness routine, all it takes is one small step to begin. You don't have to tackle the whole garden today. Just plant one seed, pull one weed, or take one small action. The rest will follow. What is your garden? Is there a task or goal you've been putting off because it feels too big or overwhelming? Take a moment to reflect. What's one small step you can take today? It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be a start. Procrastination doesn't have to hold you back. By taking small steps, focusing on progress over perfection, and being kind to yourself, you can move forward, one action at a time. Remember, you are capable of great things. The journey doesn't have to be perfect or fast, it just has to begin. Trust yourself, take that first step, and celebrate every bit of progress along the way. You've got this.
Important vocabulary and expressions. Potential. Meaning: the ability to develop, achieve, or succeed in the future. Example: the young athlete has the potential to become a world champion with the right training. Overwhelming. Meaning: very intense or difficult to deal with. Example: the amount of work she had to complete by the deadline was overwhelming. Paralyzed. Meaning: unable to act or move due to fear, shock, or indecision. Example: he was paralyzed with fear when he saw the dog running toward him. Avoidance. Meaning: the act of staying away from something because it is difficult or unpleasant. Example: her avoidance of difficult conversations led to misunderstandings in her relationships. Perfectionism. Meaning: the desire to do everything perfectly, often leading to delays or stress. Example: his perfectionism often made him miss deadlines because he was never satisfied with his work. Illusion. Meaning: a false idea or belief, something that seems real but is not. Example: the calm water created the illusion of safety, but the currents were strong underneath. Magnifies. Meaning: to make something seem bigger, more important, or worse than it is. Example: stress often magnifies small problems, making them feel much worse than they are. Momentum. Meaning: the strength or force that something has when it is moving or progressing. Example: once she started working on the project, she gained momentum and finished it quickly. Distractions. Meaning: things that take your attention away from what you're supposed to be doing. Example: to avoid distractions, he turned off his phone while studying for the exam. Affirmation. Meaning: a positive statement of encouragement or support. Example: she repeated daily affirmations like, "I am capable," to boost her confidence.
Well, that wraps up today's episode. We hope you enjoyed learning how to tackle procrastination and picked up some useful tips, vocabulary, and strategies to help you take that first step.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the English Leap podcast. If you found this episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe and download the episode PDF with all the key takeaways. It's the perfect tool to keep you motivated and on track.
And remember, the best way to beat procrastination is to start small. whether it's learning a new phrase or finishing a task you've been putting off. We're here every week to guide you as you build your English skills and confidence.
See you in the next episode, everyone. Until then, take that first step, stay consistent, and keep moving closer to your goals, one small action at a time.
Bye for now, and as always, happy learning.